Hello and welcome back to Growers Farm. My name is James and today is September the 23rd. And as you can see, we are getting stuck into the barley. This is the largest field we've got. It's field 4. And yeah, we are probably going to have to empty before we finish this headland. So yeah, I've taken charge of the combine again after what happened last time with Mark, and how all over the place this went. I've got back in the combine seat, and Mark is once again doing the carting. I need to make sure we are not going to make it all the way around this field before he's going to want to empty us. So I am currently just looking for the best places that we can go and empty, so that we can find space. I'm slightly worried about the back bit of this field. It could cause a load of issues with this. Oh wow, we lost a lot under that tree. Yeah. We also got a few weeds in here. It looks like our weed killing didn't fully work in everywhere. So we've got a couple of patches of weeds. But for the most part, it looks fairly clear and pretty good. Getting a good yield off it. We are, we're only on our second side of the field. And we've got 46% of a full tank on here. It does mean that we're going to be full along the back here. So I want to be careful with that and make sure that that we have space to empty when we need to. I'm probably going to try and when we get to about 70-80% full, I think I'm going to create a cut-in area for the tractor, because you can see along this back row we get very, very close to the fence. So much so that I'm approaching it slowly with the combine. And there's just no room for our tractor to maneuver there, really. So, yeah. We'll bring this in carefully. Yeah, so along this back, 63% we should be alright. He is, in fact, he is on his way now. So I'm just gonna back round to here where I know I have space and get him to empty. There we go. Up beside us. And this should just make things easier. And then when we've emptied, we'll crack back on. So we've emptied our first load and we continued going around the headlands. We've got an interesting bit here. So this bit we need to cut into the field, back out, and then come round the corner is the easiest way to get the cut how I want it. Nice and square around that corner. Otherwise it can cause a little bit of an issue. But we are good otherwise. And then we have this patch of green at the corner here. We don't plant this corner because this corner would just be an absolute pain to get the combine round. There we go. And, oh, no, not quite. Now, you might have noticed that we're shredding the straw on here. This is because we actually have plenty of straw at the farm, as you might have seen. I think we might adjust it, though, after this headland, and start, or after these headlands, and start producing some straw in the middle of the field. Just so that we do have another trailer or so that we can do. As I said, this is our biggest field on the farm, and so we are gonna get plenty off here anyway. But we don't really need the straw off the headlands, so we're just shredding that at the moment, and we'll turn the shredder off when we get into the middle of the field, and it'll just make it that much easier for us to bale it and collect it later. So yeah, not needing everything off here is fine, and it just means that we spend less money with doing the with you know, operating the tractor and the baler and all of that. So we've finished the first headland, and we're heading back on the second. The tractor is emptying. Mark's emptying us as we go. The interesting thing about this field is we don't have to do a complete headland for the first headland, because the way the field is shaped with the road cut out, it actually makes sense not to do that extra bit of headland along that top bit. It means things get nicely squared off, and makes things easier for us in the long run. So yeah, we don't do a complete headland on this field for the first headland, and that is marked nicely away. So yeah, we don't do a full headland for the first headland, and we turn back at the gate, and then come back round this way. Keeps things nice and simple, means that the field keeps nice and square everywhere we want it to, and just yeah, makes things easier for us overall, and just keeps things going quite nicely. We are coming down the back straight again. So we're emptying roughly twice in the headland. It's yeah, we can make it about halfway around the field before we have to empty. Much easier now that we've got the first headland out the way. The tractor will find it much easier to come around with us, and because we've got this cut out now in this corner, we can actually swing round here a lot easier as well. So that cutout was more that we had trouble getting around there the first time than it was about me swinging around like I just have. You have to do those bits and pieces sometimes. So there we go. And this is this is a decent crop off here. To have had 2 empties from our combine already, that is really good news. Looks like we're going to get several full trailers just off the headlands, which, considering our trailer holds sort of about 11,000, I think it is, maybe 12,000 litres. It might be even more than that. Yeah, actually it's more than that. I think it's closer to 14. Means that we're gonna have a good amount of barley off here as well, which will be great when we come to sell it later in the year. Should mean that we're quids in going into it, and feeling much better off. And then we're going to be approaching the potatoes and potato harvest time. Which, as I said before, is the contractors coming in. So we'll get contractors come in. They'll do that. We need to get them processed more than anything. So we're going to have a whole load of setup to get that done. I might engage the straw at the end of this, because maybe we could do a little bit more with some of the straw. The straw pellet stuff that we've been sent. So I might, I think what we'll do, end of this headland, we will engage the, disengage, the chopper, and we can go from there. We're going to have the tractor coming alongside us soon, because we're getting to that stage. And yeah, you can see here the area that we had to cut around the low-hanging branches. We can get a tractor and a drill around there, but the moment you try and get the combine under there, in fact, you can see we can get the tractor and the drill under there, but not by much. It's not a huge amount of. I thought we'd lost more crop, but we haven't. So that's good. Right. I am fully expecting my tractor at any minute, just in case. I am going to put out my auger. And as we come up to the top side of the field, so this corner here is very rounded. It sort of comes out at that tree. You'll be able to see in a minute. There he is. You'll be able to see in a minute what I was talking about with this field to begin with. There we go. Stop there. And away we go again. And you can see up ahead here, in fact, how much the road cuts into the field. Just to get up to our potatoes there, which are looking very, very ready for harvest, which is good. We should be doing those beginning of next month, I think. So there'll be an October crop of potatoes. And yes, so now you can see how much the roadway cuts into the field. And that should, yeah, do it. So he'll head off now and go and tip that, because that's looking a very full trailer. And I am just going to stop the combine here and deal with the shredder. So I've disengaged all of that. So that should now mean that we've got the straw swath running. Start up our thresher again. And away we go. So yeah, we're expecting him to empty, so expecting that to empty twice more on this headland. Looks like we've got a patch there that didn't germinate at all. That's unfortunate, but otherwise the yield on here is proving to be pretty good. I'm not sure quite what we're getting at the moment, but we're getting a decent one by the looks of things. By how quickly our combine is filling up. I'll work it out later and see how I'm doing, but I'm quite pleased with it at the moment. We've already got till 2 trailers off here, which is great news. And we'll turn our beacons off so that he doesn't get the wrong message or wrong idea. And yeah, there is our straw swath, which is all good. So now that we're dropping that, we can get up here and do this. Is that a? Looks like we've got some canola in the middle of this. That won't harvest well. I need to be careful with that. There we go. Let's see if we can avoid that canola, because that is only going to cause pain. There we go. So we'll get that little bit of barley that we got on the edge here, and then that's quite a nice bit of a cut around it. There we go. That's done rather nicely. At least we haven't contaminated our crop with the canola. We've managed to work our way around it, and yeah, looking good. That's so annoying. I guess we did have an issue early on where we mistakenly planted some of this field with canola and had to plough it all up and replant it, and yeah, was a bit of a pain, but we are now sorted. So yeah, we got a little bit of weeds canola in here that just causes us hassle from time to time. We are 72% full again. We're going to want to be emptying with our tractor soon. So I don't know where he is, but he will be back soon. I'll get the beacons on and the auger out as soon as we hit 80%. We seem to be actually getting... Well, we get diminished returns all the time as we're going around the field. And that is mainly because we've got less to cut every time we go around the field. So, yeah, I'm not surprised. We're up to 80%, so let's that out and auger out. And hopefully our tractor will be back with us shortly. Wherever he is. I hear him coming now. There we go. Mark up alongside. And emptying us out. And we should be empty, hopefully, before the corner. Which would be great. And yeah, we'll make things easier for him as well. Although, actually, the corner isn't too bad. We might be able to turn it with him doing. Although I think we'll be empty before the corner. Yeah, there we go. We're empty before the corner anyway. So, all good. I want to do one more headland. So we'll get 2 with the straw swath being dropped. Before we cut into the field. Which will be absolutely brilliant. Plenty of day left in order to do this. And yeah, and get this field done. Back down the bottom end of the field and just about ready to empty again. We're up to 74% full, so that's another full trailer off here in a moment. Quite pleased with this, as I said. Really good yield. That is, I think that's our 3rd trailer off here, which gives us a really nice amount. Right, auger out. And beacons on because we are ready to empty. And I don't think it'll be too long before we hear the tractor coming up behind. So yeah, really good. Hopefully, as I said, we'll be able to get a cut in fairly quickly once we get back up the top end of the field. We've got one side to go. I think we'll probably empty after the first cut-in as a result. We've got, yeah, quite a lot of field to get across. We are north-south seeded this field. We're actually full. Mark's come up alongside, and we're actually going to empty him straight here because we've got enough in the tank for him to head off and unload this. So that should be quite good. Yeah, there we are. That is going to be a nice trailer full for him to go and unload in a moment. And that's empty. So he's off, and we are going to continue on this field. There we go. Hopefully we're going to get a very nice amount. Yeah, we're going to get a very nice amount off here. So I'm hoping that we're not going to be too full by the time we get to the top end of the field. If we do, we will probably have to empty up that top end before we cut in. Otherwise, there will be no opportunity to empty the combine at that while we're doing the cuts in. The alternative is to head down and do one more side, but I don't really want to throw off our number of cuts and bits like that with that. So yeah, I'm just hoping at the moment that we might keep it, that we can empty out at the top end. I'm expecting about half a tank full when we get up to that top corner. So yeah, it'll be interesting to say the least. And we can keep things running if we do that. If we don't do that, then we're looking at not making things so easy for ourselves. So it is a case of just keeping an eye on what our fill levels and things are, and then using them as best we can to keep things going. We'll head down sort of this end of the field here to do our cutting, and work our way back towards the farm. Is the easiest way in the past I've found to do it. And yeah, we're going to be about half full by the time we get to our cutting. So with actually a single side of this, we should be all right. And then hopefully the tractor can empty us on the return. So yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. So I'm going to. Will be fine. Of course, is the precursor to everything going horribly wrong that has ever gone horribly wrong. So we'll head down to the bottom part of the field here. Pick ourselves a line and get cutting in. So I reckon we want to give ourselves about 4 or 5 rows to cut. So I reckon we want to cut in about here-ish. Any more than that, and we end up being a little bit too too wide for it to be worth it. There we go. That's about right. I can't get the adjustment fine enough at the moment. I think that's about right. We want to be about... looking at this, we're actually going east-west. I thought we were going north-south, but we're actually going east-west. So, yeah, that's our cutting is actually east-west, not north-south on here. But it is cutting nicely. A few patches of grass on this field left over from when this was grazing land. This was one of the fields that we actually converted from being a grassland field to an arable field when we started increasing the arable focus on the farm. And yeah, there are still a couple of patches where we get grass coming through. It can be fairly stubborn to clear it out, but we are fine. Oh, and tractor's up beside us. He must have been following behind. Let's empty that out. We were quite full, actually, surprisingly. Must have been reversing back a bit then. He's very close to the hedge, the fence. That's all right. He can back out once we've emptied. He can back out, and we can go and cut in on that side. There we go. All emptied. I'm going to turn away, and hopefully he will back out, and we can get into position for our next run. So it looks like we're getting about 20, maybe 30, maybe even a third of a tank. If we get as much as a third of a tank of every cut in here, that is going to be really good. In fact, yeah, we are. We're getting a third of a tank with every cut-in. That is absolutely brilliant. Just that will work out pretty well for us as far as actually getting unloaded. It means that the tractor will be able to unload us on the way back next time, which is good news. But yeah, it's that's really good. And I've actually judged this first cut-in pretty well. We're going to get about 5 rows out of it, I think, which is absolutely great. It does mean, yeah, we might have to do a 6th row just to make sure that we get unloaded correctly. But in general, we're good and running nicely. And yeah, as I said, we should end up unloading on our next return. I'm expecting us to be about 66% next time, and that means that Mark will be unloading us on the return run, and we'll keep things nicely in the middle of the field. For him manoeuvring and everything, it's just, yeah, it's so much easier if I keep him in the middle of the field. So we're looking at being there. We're actually over 2/3 full from this next return. That is brilliant. There are trailers and trailers and trailers of crop on this field. And we go. We might as well get our auger out, because I think he'll come and join us in any moment. And I'm going to put my beacons on as well. That way, he will come and pick us up any moment. Hopefully. Yep, I think I can hear him. There we go. And this should give him a full trailer, which will be good. And then he can head off and get rid of this and tip this into our silo, and I can continue with the cutting of the field. We've still got a way to go on here. So yeah. We're getting a good harvest out of it, which is absolutely brilliant. Well, my first cut wasn't quite right into here. We have left a little bit. But I'd rather leave a little bit than yeah, try and fit the whole thing in and just end up having to come back anyway. So we're going to go down here, get this. Oh wow, it's gone more than a little bit now. Get this cut. And then we'll come up the other side, and yeah, I think on the way back we'll end up emptying the tractor, emptying again, which should be good. There certainly will be enough to get it to empty again, and then that will leave us with an empty tank in order to do our cutting, which just makes things easier in the overall. We're coming to the end of the row, and we're about 87-90% full. I know that Mark is on his way, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take another row on this side here, and hopefully that means we can empty as he's alongside and while we're moving, which makes more sense. So we're getting rather full at the moment. Where's he got to? Ah, there he is. So yeah, this makes more sense to empty out and give him as much as we can from here, rather than just sitting at the end there and letting it go. And then we can do a cut in, and it will be all good. That Red Rock trailer has been working really, really well for us this season. I'm very, very pleased with the outcome from that. the trailers that the contractors will be using are much, much bigger, of course, for the potatoes, because they have a very big harvester. 14,000 litres not going to cut it for the potatoes. There we go. So we are going to be only probably about 10% full when we do our cutting, which is pretty much perfect for us. Exactly where we want to be. And there we go. Just got a message in that the spinnery is after something. I wonder if we need to go and check. Maybe they're after some wool. This is quite a deep cutting. Never mind. I'm going to go in here and go across. So we are about halfway through this field at this point, I think. But I'm slightly worried about how long my vlog is going on for. So what I'm going to do is I think we'll pick this up again next time. For now, all that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this vlog. Please give it a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. And for all the latest videos from the farm, please subscribe to the channel and ring that bell. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.